How you doing, YouTubers? This is Alfred, the Central Texas Cruiser, coming at you with another one of my cruising videos. Today I'm going to be cruising in the historic district of the King Williams area in downtown San Antonio, Texas. They have a lot of beautiful historic homes here and a lot of gardens. I don't know how good I'm going to be able to film this because mainly a lot of these homes need to be shot with the camera showing exactly at them, and I'm going to be cruising, so let's see how this goes. Hope you enjoy the ride, and let's take a cruise. Before I forget, I have my Trek multi-track 730 today. My little cruiser here. Fantastic bike, hybrid 1995. Alrighty. I'm just kind of just cruise along here. I'll do my best to try to point the cameras at the houses, but that's a beauty right there. Mainly has all St. Augustine grass, a lot of jasmine ground cover and boxwood. Beautiful oak trees in the front. That's a beauty there too. I think most of these homes are from the 1800s, Victorian era. A lot of crepe myrtles blooming right now in July, in the first week of July here. This is a beautiful home here. Got forest green shutters on it with a cream stone on it. Bunch of crepe myrtles and different oak trees, mountain laurels. And there's the old Pioneer flour company there, flour mill, White Wing. Sorry about the sun, the glare. Got the San Antonio River down there that I filmed on my part 1 and part 2 video of the San Antonio River Walk. This is another entrance to it in the downtown area. Goes all the way up to, all the way on the south side, on this side, all the way to Roosevelt Park and other areas going that way, all the way to the Missions, you know, the south side Missions. Mostly all these historic homes have metal roofs on them. They're all very well painted and they look beautiful. This house right here was under construction the beginning of the year, I think. They finally finished it up. Looks beautiful. It's an all-white house with black trimming on it. Black door, actually. A lot of oaks. A lot of the native plants, you know, magnolias and Turk's cap. This is not a native Japanese boxwood, but a lot of people use the Japanese boxwood here in San Antonio. It's just, you know, some people love it, some people hate it. This is an all-white, black trimming house. Gas lanterns in the front. Beautiful. Has that grass. It's looks like it's St. Augustine grass. I thought maybe it was that tall fescue, which is very drought tolerant. And here's that jasmine along the edge here. It also comes as a climber. You can put that on your fence and it'll climb up the fence. They sell it as a ground cover and a climber. So there's a bunch of crepe myrtles and mountain laurels. That's a pretty home there. Beautiful Victorian homes. Looks like to be the original fences on them as well. This one's getting a little bit of construction done to it. Alfred Giles house. Cream with a little bit of red trimming and forest green shutters. Classic. Wow, look at the grass on this house. I believe that's Bermuda or tall fescue. Beautiful homes. I used to see these old Victorians when I was growing up on the east side. My grandparents from my mom's side, they lived on the east side of San Antonio, and they have a lot of these historic homes over there, Victorians from the 1800s. And when I was a kid, I used to, my aunt lived in one of them, had a attic space up there, and then it had a second floor and then a first floor. And I was always scared to go into that house because at night it was really weird because we would hear like somebody was bouncing a ball down the stairs, you know. I thought it was haunted for sure, you know, and my aunts thought it was haunted. And because, I mean, we would go look, or she would go look and open the door and it would stop, you know. But as soon as she would close the door again, there goes that, you know, that ball up and down the stairs. It was pretty scary as a 5-year-old. Here's a beautiful white house with all that decoration up there. All that up there. Well, I used to know the name of all that, but I think they're called scrolls. Like the brown door. Put some brand new brakes on this bike and I stopped right now and it was squealing. So I gotta recheck that again. Brand new brakes. We're coming up to St. Mary Street here. Got King William's Cultural Arts District. Come some more of my buddies over there. Think I ought to join them. It's a ball cypress there. Those ball cypresses are kind of hard to grow. They do good here in Texas, but they're normally near the water. So they like being near the water. So if they're not near the water, you have to take care of them and make sure to put water on them because they'll dry up. Had a friend whose ball cypress just dried up after so many years of not being able to take care of it. It just turned brown and died. I always admired this little house here. It's like a small little house, but it's a 2-story. Looks like they might have added the second story on it. And this one is identical to the next one there. But they're beautiful little homes. They look kind of tiny for the area, but you know, they look at this one. That looks like it's from the 1950s. Looks like that gingerbread molding was added to the house. Might be original. There's some more there, gingerbread. These are apartments right here on the right, which is pretty cool to be living in a historic area. I'm sure they probably pay a premium there for living there. That's a pretty house there, even though it's not, looks to be from the 1950s. Here's some Esperanza lantana. It's the native lantana. I got the foxtail ferns all on the front there. We got a, looks like that was probably the maids quarter in the back over there back in the days. They used to have, maids quarters in the back where they had to live there. So that's a beautiful home right there. Man, look at that. Forest green shutters with a cream color, St. Augustine grass. Got the Indian hawthorn, got some Japanese boxwood, some ferns, giant lorope, and then all pecan trees, all in the whole yard, nothing but pecan trees. Man, that's a lot of pecans. And beautiful fence on it. And it got the maids' quarters in the back. Beautiful. Here's that Pride of Barbados plant right there, the ones with the orange. They normally team that up with Esperanza, the yellow Esperanza. A lot of crepe myrtles everywhere. They're all blooming right now. They bloom all the way through the summer here in San Antonio, Texas. That's the real popular one. The pink one is the one that really grows real well everywhere here. They have a white one, and they have this one here, the red one. It's like a crimson color, but the white one is hard to grow. There's some Esperanza down there, yellow Esperanza. It's a peach tree. And here's a queen's wreath, grows along the fence here. It grows also, it looks just like the crepe myrtle flower. It's like a pink color flower. Yeah, that Pride of Barbados, they normally team that up with Esperanza. They put it right next to each other and they look beautiful together. Here's a corner lot house. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. I wanted to show you guys something that I see a lot of. This tree here, it's an oak. It's a red oak. But you can see they topped it on the top. They topped it. And you're not supposed to do that to trees. You're not supposed to top them because that's like their main arteries on a tree. And it'll die. I've seen friends' homes where they come and they get their trees done, and I go back and look at them, and they've topped all their trees. Oh my God! So I let them have the bad news. I tell them, you'll be lucky if that tree survives. And they ask me why, and they said because you're not supposed to top a tree like that. That's the main arteries from the plant, and you can't. It's like chopping off your arms, I mean, you're going to be handicapped afterwards. You might make it, you might not. You're going to have problems. So, yeah. Yeah, but don't top your trees. If you want, you can thin them out in the middle to try to get more sunlight in. Maybe some of the smaller limbs, try to get some air in there, try to get some sunlight. But don't top them because they're going to struggle. You're going to have a tree that's not going to look very healthy, and it's going to have some problems. It's going to have trouble. Like I said, some of them might rebound, but then you got a tree there that looks, terrible. Here's that Turk's cap that's very popular here in San Antonio, Texas. This is a pretty house right here. It's a magnolia tree. That magnolia trees are beautiful trees. They have this real shiny foliage on it. It's really disease resistant. Some rosemary, banana plants. I don't really think those banana plants fit here in Texas, but you know, some you'll occasionally see them, but I don't think they really fit in with. There's a bird. Pride of Barbados. I always call it the bird of paradise. And here's that jasmine I was talking about that grows also on the fence. It grows up the fence. That's that giant lorope right there. It's called liriope or lorope, whichever one you want to call it. And here's the apartments that you can rent in the historic district here. Here's that Esperanza. If you team that up with that bird of paradise or that Pride of Barbados, man, it really looks good. I've seen it, you know, down in the Riverwalk. There's plumbago. And a lot of oaks. A lot of beautiful oaks. This one's the Marty, Virginia Burkholder House. I don't know, but I think those look like apartments. There's a lot of cars in the back and a lot of carport, so looks pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've been here a lot of times and I've never really paid attention to that one. That giant lorope. Here's a This is St. Mary Street right here. They have a lot of restaurants here on St. Mary's, and a lot of places that you can come down here and eat and have a beer or your choice of drink. Coffee shops, Mexican restaurants, bars, you name it, they got it on St. Mary's Strip. It's actually a really nice place to come, and on a weekend, if you ever have some time, or during the week. Today is Wednesday, and there's some people out here. This used to be Rosario's, but it's not Rosario's anymore. It was a Mexican restaurant. Kind of windy today, so might get some wind noise. I still haven't taken out my mic to use. Here's a place right here. I've only come here once, I believe, or twice. They got them big old flat screen TVs out there and a lot of outdoor chairs. And all the beers you can drink there. They got hundreds of different beer brands. Me and my grandkids and my daughter, my son-in-law, my wife went there one night. This is a Bar Loretta. I actually played there one time with a friend of mine, River City Slim and the Rhythm Kings. I play the bass guitar, so we sat in for some songs. Had a good time, I remember. Okay, so I ended up back in the same place again. Why, I don't know. Thought I had went further up. Yeah, I've been on this street already. I apologize. I didn't know I had come down this street already. When I go on St. Mary's, I normally get lost because when you turn into this area here, it's a little bit different. So here's a beautiful home right there. I'm sorry if I'm going a little too fast. It's I'm trying to get used to trying to figure out how to videotape a lot of these things. So I'm still in the learning phase, you know. But I was able to make a couple of videos, actually around 3 videos, which came out. The editing part was the tricky part for me because I'm not really too savvy about the editing part, but I managed to do it, and got 2 of my videos up. You might want to check them out. They're under Central Texas Cruiser, and it's the San Antonio Riverwalk Cruise, part 1 and part 2. Check them out. Give me a like and subscribe if you like, and that way I can keep on making this type of videos for you. I'm just kind of going along and trying to see if people will like my videos, you know? You never know. I mean, I enjoy cruising on my bike, and I enjoy showing beautiful gardens and beautiful homes, historic homes, you know, even not historic homes, you know. I mean, I just like houses, period, you know. So if you see my videos and you like them, you know, give me a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments to keep making more videos for you folks so I can keep on making them. Over on this side over here to the left is the area is not as popular, but It's not as popular as this other side over here, the King Williams area. But I believe that all this area is also King Williams, you know, so uh, these are all apartments over here on this side. But you can see that they're all pretty much the same as that other side over there, you know. It's just, they're all historic homes from the 1800s. Here's the white crepe myrtle I was talking about right there. It's not, that one you don't see very often because, well, white, I like white, but as a plant, it's not as popular as the crimson or the pink one. But I hope my camera's picking up. I hope my camera's picking up all this thing because this really is a nice cruise through this historic district here. The school, Brackenridge, is right up the street here. It's where Brackenridge High School is at. I think was called Wheatley for a while, or Brackenridge, and then they changed it back to Wheatley or Brackenridge, so we'll find out in a little bit. But yeah, all my aunts went there. My aunts and uncles, they went to Brackenridge from the east side. I tell you, when I first saw this home here, I was completely in awe. This home right here just really does something to me right here. You can see up on the top, it says 1892. And the back here, all these homes here, the back is the river, the San Antonio River, which is the Salado Creek trailhead. And, or the San Antonio River. But yeah, this house right here is something else. Man, that's a beautiful home. I would like to go in there and look at that house. I one time went into a home like that and I saw these stairs in there on the east side when I was a kid. Scared the living daylights out of me going in there, but it was just something that just drew me in to go in there to look at it, you know. And man, it's just, you just go back in time, you know. 1800s. I guess it kind of shows my age a little bit. I used to look at all those old movies back in the days in the 60s. I used to look at movies from the 1940s and 1950s, you know, with Count Dracula and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman and all them, you know, and they all had these houses like that. Here's an entrance into the river down there. There's a trail. Yeah, so that's the entrance. Yeah, they have a lot of entrances here, you know, the same way as all along the Riverwalk or the, you know, like where I live, it's the Salado Creek Trail. But they all are combined together. You know, they're trying to make something like 151 miles of trail. So you're going to be able to go from one side of town to the other side of town on your bike, just riding the trails. You know, that's pretty cool. Here's the Pride of Barbados right there. That's a pretty home right there. It just needs a little bit of cleaning up in the front. I wouldn't block the view of my house like that. It's such a beautiful home, you know. But they might not see it that way, you know. Here's a baby blue color house. Look at that one. That's the glass on it. That is bevel glass, you know. And some of these homes are, I don't know, maybe they're from the 1900s, you know. It might be from the 1800s, but I don't think so. I think they're more like the 1900s. That I don't know. It's a lot of wind today. I hope that it's not picking up the wind too much. You know, making these videos, I've made a few beginner mistakes, and but you know, it comes with the territory when you first get into making videos for YouTube. I've heard a lot. I'm going to go in here so y'all can see this entrance here to the river walk here. They have a there it is, and it goes along this way here. You go all the way down there down into the river. I normally go down there and ride my bike, you know, but right now I'm showing you guys the, see, there it is right there. You can see they got all apartments over there on that side and on this side too. There it is. San Antonio River. These are all apartments here. Those are all apartments all along this side and the right hand side over here. You know, I think this is this area here is there's a river walk. You can see we were over there right now in front of those houses that I told you about, that 1892 home. They're, you know, back in the Victorian era, their backyard was this river right there, you know. So, man, that must have been something. Even now, you know, here with these apartments, for instance, if you lived here, you know, I mean, whoever got the view there to the river, man, here's some yuccas right here. What's this pink flower? And all that grass is Bermuda grass. It can take the heat better than St. Augustine grass. So St. Augustine requires a lot of water. Bermuda, well, needs water, but not as much as, you know, not like St. Augustine grass. Can't believe these brakes are making screeching noise. Taking a water break. I forgot the name of this area right here. I used to know it and I forgot it. South, it's called South something, South, but these are all apartments right here. All along over there, it's all apartments that you can, this is a pretty good area. They probably, the rents, I mean, you know, it's gotten to where rents are everywhere you go. They're $1,200, even on the south side, you know. On the northeast side, they probably won more than $1,200. You know, I would say, you know, anywhere in the $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 range, depending on the area. Alamo Heights out there and Castle Hills, all those areas out there are a little bit more expensive. But over here, this is a south side. It's a little bit less expensive, but still, you're looking at rents that are already $1,200 a month. What side of town is this? What's the name of this area?
What's that?
What's the name of this area?
Southtown?
Southtown. Thank you. Yeah, it's Southtown. Here's a lot of the native plants. Salvia greggii. I don't know the name of this little yellow flower, but I actually bought a plant like that this year, and I think it's that one, but there's the old Breckenridge High School right there. Might be called Wheatley now, but so I guess you can try to look it up and see what Breckenridge. It's Breckenridge High School. I can see the name out there in the front. They had renamed it. It was Wheatley, and then they renamed it back to Breckenridge. I wish they had more of these bike lanes everywhere in San Antonio. I really like them. I see a lot of people riding bikes now and scooters. I mean, that's really has taken off, the scooters, downtown area. All that has really taken off a lot. So they're starting to be more bike friendly in the city, and people are starting to ride their scooters, and some people are just basically walking and exercising, walking and jogging. And so that's a good thing. Looks to be like these homes are more like they have some Victorians in there from the early 1900s, I believe. Like this one right here. It looks like an older home, maybe the early 1900s. Might not, I don't know. It might be Victorian, the 1800s, but for those of you that know a little bit more about homes, you probably can figure that out. There's that Bermuda. Either that or it's that fescue that I'm talking about, that tall fescue. They're really drought resistant. Here's that bird of paradise, or the pride of Barbados. I'm still trying to figure out how to carry my stuff when I ride my bike. And I have a backpack right now that I use, and I normally like to wear a backpack because it's just a lot easier, Like I have a couple of bags that are interchange bags from Bont Ranger, and I have the MIK bag that I recently bought for a real cheap price. Like the interchange, I got it for $5, and all I did was wash it, and it was brand new again. It's a $150 bag for $5. And then I got the MIK bag for $30, but both of them need a rack. Although the interchange I had put on an 820 that I have, Trek 820, I used zip locks, zip ties, and connected it, and it works just fine. It's on there, it's not going to come off. The MIK bag, I haven't really got a rack for it yet. You need a MIK rack, which is called the back rack by Bont Ranger. But if you want a new one, it costs around $60 plus tax. And but still, I guess, after getting that bag for $30, I guess I'm still about $50 or $60 under. But what I was gonna say is that I don't really know. I like it when it's on there and I can put all my stuff in there, but I always end up taking them off. you know, when you put your foot over to get onto the bike, you always end up hitting your foot on top of the bag, or I do. But there's a way to get on the bike. All you got to do is put your left foot on the pedal and just throw your. Once you get on the pedal, you're about 5 or 6 inches, off the ground. So that's going to give you a little bit more clearance to be able to clear that bag in the back. But most people that I've talked to, they like those bags a lot, and the rack. But I've seen YouTube videos on these guys that ride all the time, and they're like, they've been riding for years and years, and they always say that they like the backpack, the backpack method. So, and I kind of tend to agree with that. I really like my backpack. I'm a conservative. I don't like to spend a lot of money because I don't have a lot of money. I'm on Social Security, so. But I got this backpack from Walmart. Hello. For $10, believe it or not. It cost me $10. And it's big enough for me to put everything that I need to put in there and then some. I can even put my hat. I can even put my helmet on in there, I'm going to take a little ride down here just to show you guys the entrance to this Riverwalk entrance here where I park my vehicle. It's a beautiful river, either way you look at it. It's a beautiful river here in San Antonio. In the downtown area is all beautiful river walk. You can see it's just another world down here. Just like I mentioned before, you just kind of zone out, go into a different world down here. Down here, you're just with nature, And I think that's why most people just like coming to these places, is because you're surrounded by nature. I'm going to go back the other way. for some reason it ends right there. And then you have to come up here, which is kind of crazy, but it throws you right back into the historic area. I got these 38 tires on my bike. Normally I have 35s, but these are 38s. I think I'm gonna go this way. I think I'm gonna have to end this video here because it's getting kind of long, and I don't want you guys to That's a pretty house there. For sale. Wonder how much they want for that one. 5 million. Well, I think I'm going to end my cruise here, YouTubers. Hope you liked the video today, and make sure to like and subscribe, and come back and visit me again on another one of my cruises. Again, today was the historic King William's District, and I hope I was able to capture all the homes and some of the plantings that these houses down here have. Come on back and visit me again on my channel, and hope to see you again. Hasta la vista, amigos. See you later.